Good afternoon, guys. This is your Suits and Vans Realtor Man, Marcus Smith, team leader and founder of the Marcus Smith Real Estate team at Keller Williams Elite in Oklahoma City. Today, Smith Talk Tuesday, episode number 8 is how much does it cost to buy a house? I'm asked this question all the time from buyers. How much do I need to save up? Let's talk about down payment, closing costs, inspections, fees. How much do I need to bring, Smith, to the table to be able to purchase a home? Great question. So the example I'm going to use today, I'm going to try to keep it pretty simple, but without rushing. So this video may run a little bit longer than normal, okay? So the example that I want to use today is a house, let's say, is priced at $200,000, okay? So $200,000 home, what's your down payment look like? Well, if you qualify for an FHA loan, you're looking at a minimum of about 3.5% of the purchase price. So 3.5% of $200,000, that's $7,000 down payment. If you qualify for a conventional loan, conventional loans are typically about 5% down payment of the purchase price. So 5% of a $200,000 home, you're looking at a down payment of $10,000, right? However, there are several programs and loans out there that you may qualify for that will cover your down payment. For example, veterans, right? I work with a ton of veterans over the years. And if you're a veteran and you qualify for a VA loan, you pay zero down payment. Okay. That's the government's way of saying thank you for your service, for our country. And we don't want a down payment to prohibit you from purchasing a home. So VA loans, zero down payment. If you are Native American, you may qualify for a 184 loan because there are several tribes in Oklahoma that will cover, not only provide or cover your down payment, but I've seen some tribes cover down payment and additional closing costs for my buyers. It just depends on the tribe. Certain tribes have a little bit more money than others. It's really hard to tell based on the tribe. Okay, but there are tribes out there that will cover down payment and additional closing costs for you. There are several down payment assistance programs out there that would also cover your down payment for you as well. Those are based upon income, credit score, debt to income ratio, and some other factors there. So know that there are some programs and loans out there that may cover the $7,000 or the $10,000, down payment. Now, beyond the down payment, what other costs are we looking at out of pocket? Well, within the first 3 days of going under contract is simply where both sides, we submit an offer to the sellers, we negotiate back and forth if we have to, and both parties agree on all the numbers, everything that's in the contract, we go under contract. We have an executed contract. Within the first 3 days per the contract, buyers, you have to deposit or drop off what's called earnest money, an earnest money check, typically at the title company. On a house that's priced around $200,000, that's going to be a $1,000 earnest money check, roughly $1,000. So that's out of pocket. So we got to say $1,000. That's our first, cost there out of pocket. Within the first 7 to 10 days of going under contract, we have to do inspections. Your home inspection is going to run you roughly around $300. Termite inspection is going to run you around $90 to $100. And then also within that same 7 to 10 days, your lender is going to require an appraisal. That's going to run you about $500. An appraisal simply ensures that you don't overpay for the home. The appraiser will go out to the home, determine its market value based on the other homes or comparable homes that have sold in your neighborhood or area. So $300 home inspection, $90 termite inspection, $500 appraisal. We're already at $890. Add on the $1,000 earnest money. So within the first 7 to 10 days, we are out of pocket buyers, $1,890. Okay. Now that can change a little bit depending on the purchase price of the home, earnest money, and so forth. But the inspection fees are pretty much going to stay pretty much the same there. Okay. So are there any other additional costs beyond the $1,890 earnest money and inspections and appraisal? Yes. Okay. There are what are called closing costs or your prepaid costs, okay, which are costs that have to be paid up front at closing. A house that's priced around $200,000, those remaining closing costs are going to run about $7,000. Don't freak out. I know it's a lot. However, that's why it's always great to have an experienced realtor negotiating for you, because that $7,000 is something that I can negotiate for you, the buyer. And I would say the majority, over 90%, 95% of the time, I'm able to negotiate that. I'm able to negotiate that sellers pay the remaining $7,000 in closing costs. Well, what's the $7,000 consist of? Well, that's going to consist of your homeowner's insurance. It's also going to consist of your property taxes, your lender fees, title fees, and so forth. That's all going to be fixed into that $7,000 that I'm talking about. But remember, once again, that $7,000 is something that I can negotiate that the seller to pay. Okay, and worst case scenario, if I can absolutely just negotiate $0 from the seller to pay towards your closing costs, we've got to add that $7,000 to our $1,890 total, which now gets us to $8,890 in terms of money that you have to bring to the table. In addition, remember, $7,000 for your down payment, right? If you don't qualify for one of the programs or one of the loans that will cover down payment. So now we're at $15,890 total. That's down payment, that's inspections, earnest money, and your remaining closing costs. So worst case scenario, you would have to pay $15,890, okay? However, there are some variables in there that can change. Remember, once again, and I have this illustration here, and this may help, okay? So we're at $200,000 house. We've got 3.5% FHA loan you qualified for, down payment of $7,000. You've got earnest money here. I shouldn't cover my face up. You have earnest money here of $1,000. You have inspections and appraisal at $890. That totals $8,890 based on these three things here. Okay, now I added in the additional $7,000 in closing costs, which brings us a total of $15,890. Now, this can change because if I can negotiate $7,000 to be paid by the seller, then now that brings this $15,000 payment down or closing costs down to $8,890. In addition, if you qualify for one of the down payment assistance programs or one of the loans that will cover your down payment, we subtract another $7,000, which then gets us down to $1,890, which in essence is your earnest money and your inspections. In an ideal world, this is absolutely what I would want for any of my buyers, and a lot of my buyers are able to just bring the absolute minimum to closing, which is the earnest money, inspections, and the appraisal. But understand, in terms of worst case scenario, you don't qualify for any down payment assistance programs or one of the loans that will cover your down payment. Your agent can't negotiate the $7,000 in remaining closing costs from the seller. You would be looking at roughly $15,890 to purchase a $200,000 home. So I'm hoping that this Smith Talk or this episode was helpful for buyers who are thinking about how much money do I need to have, saved to be able to purchase a home. Once again, I want to thank you guys for your continued support. I received hundreds of comments and you guys reaching out to me via text message through all social media platforms as well too. If you have any questions, you guys know, don't hesitate to contact me. I'm here to, my team and I are here to help represent you and negotiate the very best deal for you. So I hope this was helpful. Once again, enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you next week, guys. Bye.